All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you would be when you would be listening to the guest of the day. Welcome back to Leaders in Libraries, Season 4. We had 74 global guests coming in the earlier season, and this season we have yet another guest for the day. We're going to talk about a powerful book. Very honestly, if the guest had not told me, I would have never picked this book. And I'm so glad, I'm so happy, and I'm very, very humbled that I got to read this book of this great man of this century. And I'm going to leave it to the guest to reveal what the book is in a while from now. But before we get into the conversation, let me have the honor of introducing the guest. And today, the man with us is Prosenjit Mukherjee. He's the group CHRO of SRK Consulting Group. It's global IT services and consulting enterprise company, one of the top 50 ranked in the APAC by the Financial Times. Now, Prasenjit is one of the leading faces, known faces in the HR fraternity with over 2 decades of work up his sleeves across all the areas of HR, if you can say that. All his good work has been recognized and acknowledged by multiple forums. He was one of the top HR tech award winners in 2022. He has got an award in excellence in HR in 2021 by the Indian Achievers Awards Forum. He's also one of the HR 40 under 40 in 18 and 19. Good accolades, a very humble and a very simple man. Does not like to talk about his awards, but I didn't want to leave the opportunity to say that because you see those awards behind him. Good work there. I'm so happy to have him on the show today. Welcome, Prasanji. Good evening to
Thank
you.
you so much, Rajiv, for such a fantastic presentation and elaborative, sharing about me and the organization. Definitely humbled, and it's a graceful opportunity for us also to speak to you, especially on the topic what we're going to, kind of disclose to the audience is something.
Yes.
It's a privilege, and I
Oh,
feel
yes.
proud to share about the person, about the book,
Yeah.
uh, seeing him personally, and of course we'll uncover all of that. But it's an
Yes.
opportunity, and thank you for providing
Pleasure.
this opportunity.
Pleasure. I'm looking forward if we get an opportunity sometime to meet the man. But today, let's talk about him. So before we get into the book and look at a couple of pearls of wisdom that this great man has spoken across the pages of the book, I'm going to start with my most favorite question that I ask all the guests. How did books happen to you, Prasenjit? How early was it? Take us to the journey.
Okay, so you know, I've been born and brought up in a, I mean, I'm a Bengali.
Mm.
The Bengalis are, without calling out that racism and all of that. So in general, Bengalis are very literary in culture. So
Yeah.
arts and literature is something which runs in our blood, right?
True. True.
So, and my father used to work with the central government. He was
Yeah.
with the central government for a very long time in his career.
Mm.
So we were typically a family of professors, doctors, and
Yeah.
all of that, which is
Yeah.
education and literature was one of the most important.
Right.
So even when I was young, I was like fascinated with various books, especially my idol. Even today, it was Swami
Mm.
Vivekanand,
Mm.
Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and all, right, and
Mm.
writing about them, reading about them,
Mm.
even writing about the
Right.
various novels and poetries, which was my now I don't get much of time to write about it, but I was fascinated by the books,
Mm.
novels, and various, the literary. So definitely books is something which, out of the education area, I started, I think, reading about when I was in 12 or 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
A little more than that. I think little lesser than that, maybe about, yeah, 9, 10 years I started.
Mm.
And I was an avid reader. So
Right.
various kind of novels, be it English, be it Bengali,
Mm.
be it Hindi. I was reading various kind of novels,
Mm-hmm.
be it any kind of success stories, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think it has become a part and parcel of my life,
Oh, lovely.
right? And I personally believe in reading books than probably going through a blog and
Mm.
kind of going through any kind of internet based uh,
Mm.
things, right? Because books always helps us to learn a lot of things about the author as
True.
well, and
True.
to understand the insights about what it's been written, right? So
Yeah.
it's a connection. When you read a book about a person, you also create a connection with that author, understand the feeling. So
Hmm.
I typically favor, though I don't it's not a harm to get into a lot of internet. So I am still
Hmm.
not a flamboyant when it comes to Kindle.
Hmm.
I I am an old school guy. I
Right.
still go to pen and paper, and I kind of if I have to write, I will write, or I'll I use a diary. I
Yeah.
read books. I read poetries. I write sometimes poetries. That's my
How
personal
lovely.
side of it.
How lovely.
So we are like all of, bongs are always like that, right? Very classy, Sangeet and
I
poetry,
know.
love
So
and
beautiful.
family and culture. So that's somehow I have kind of grown up, right? And
Very nice.
that becomes a part of my life. And I also believe a person who read books, the knowledge always
Hmm.
comes first, then the education, right? So
Yeah.
a person who read books is knowledge of an
Correct.
ocean, right? I have a huge respect for people who read books,
Hmm.
who share the knowledge of wisdom. I have a huge
Hmm.
respect for those people, right?
Right.
So that's also and that is a reason also it attracts me to read books, which is definitely which will attract me to motivate. So
Right.
and yes, I have read multiple of the books, right?
Very nice.
And I, of course, try doing it. Even the professional times are
Mm-hmm.
right, but I still do it whenever
Mm-hmm.
not just professional angle, but even in a
Hmm.
personal angle.
Personal angle also. Hmm.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, yeah.
Very nice. So nice. I can relate to the entire thing that you said, Prasanjit, because my father was a government servant like yours, and he was posted in your part of the land, and I have a very close affinity to bongs. I've grown with Bandhopadhyay, Chattopadhyay's, Mukherjee's, Chatterjee's, and Mondals of the world. So people have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet teeth, thanks to you guys. I can't finish a meal without a sweet after food, and I always would jokingly tell that this community, any bong will have a spectacle, will sing like Kishore Kumar or anybody else, will read books, will smoke. These four things are mandatory for any bongs, and you can see it across. And I don't want to be racist, but I can tell you out of my experience. It's lovely, lovely knowing you.
Yeah.
Superb, superb. So let's from your journey of books, let's get into the book of the day, right? I'm going to ask you, what is the book and why did you choose this? Before we get into a couple of things that caught my attention, why this book of all?
First of all, definitely we had a lot of choices, but this is one of the best that I have read so far in my journey uh, because I am also fortunate to know the author personally, right? He's our like a father figure for us, right? And the person that I'm talking about is uh, Shri Govind Bhai Dholakia, right? It is his autobiography. And the book's context is Diamonds Are Forever, So Are Morals, right?
If you have the book, can you show it for the
Yeah,
audience?
yeah. This is the book.
That's the book. I think all of you should pick up the book. It's a great, great book of an Indian legend who built an empire in the world of jewelry and gems.
Yeah, so this has been edited as told to he shared his words
Right.
to Mr. Arun Tiwari and Kamlesh Yagnik. They are also a very honored literary person, and this is published by Penguin, and it is already there in Amazon and all kind of social,
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
so, and if someone needed the books, they can always reach out to me. So I would love to do the honors. And so this is about the person, and one of the most humble person that I've seen.
Yes.
Such a humble man who started his journey. Uh, he could not complete his education. He was at a class 7 or so. He had to start his journey from a village to come to Surat. Started as just a diamond cutter, right? A
Mm.
polish to and take to an organization about a 1.8 billion to a 2 billion
Yeah.
organization, right? Not just that. typically what happened as a businessman is that they grow,
Mm.
at their own, of course, it is only for them, their
Yeah.
family, their, kind of close surroundings.
Mm.
What Govind Kaka did it that he called up all the family members, all his cousin members, all of that entire Gujarat diamond community, right?
Yeah.
So people who don't know, Govind Bhai Dholakia is the chairman of Sri Ramakrishna Exports, so one of the founding figure of diamond community in India
Yes.
and
Yes.
diamond tycoon. He's been awarded multiple times. Even recently, he's awarded by Harun. So all of you can go to web and read about him. Can go to the
Yes.
website and read about him. And the best part is that bringing people up,
Yeah.
right? So when I was working with a different company,
Mm.
in Ahmedabad, and I got a call from, which is SRK Consulting Group, which is
Mm.
definitely IT venture of the organization that SRK
Mm.
has initially, joined hands. And now, of course, we are an independent entity working.
Mm.
So
Mm.
when I heard about him and when I read about him, I got
Mm.
mesmerized because
Yeah.
person is so humble, ground to
Mm.
earth, right? He is the only person who can say, I am nothing, right?
Yeah.
So words attracted me a lot. That how come a person can be so humble, sitting
Yeah. Yeah.
at such a luxury lifestyle, at such a lifestyle which is like, entrepreneur, a billionaire, right? Talking about I am nothing, right?
Mm. Mm.
Any else would have been living a very luxurious lifestyle or all of that.
Yes.
What I've seen this
Yes.
guy is that leading a life of extremely ground to earth. So people
Mm.
who have seen him, they would see how he managed to gel along with even at a kid to a
Mm.
to a person, and the
Mm.
kind of how he molded himself. So I
Mm.
saw that part. I read about him. I've
Mm.
studied multiple. Literally, I've done a research, about him,
Right.
his
Right.
family members, and the kind of practices that they follow.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just mind blowing.
Absolutely. And I'm going to talk about that today in this talk.
Yeah, it's mind blowing
Yeah.
practices, family practices, and I mean, I don't think half an hour, 1 hour, or even 2 hour would be justified
Would
for
be
a
enough.
conversation to
I
talk
agree.
about this
I
person.
agree. I agree.
And
Lovely.
when I read about him, I'm a fan. I've become a fan. You will see me while I talk about it. It comes from my heart. I am a fan, and it's like that. The respect comes from within, right?
Mm. Mm.
So,
Mm.
and then I immediately kind of know, let me join the hands with this organization to learn something from it, right?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So this I am nothing, but I can do anything context actually attracted me. Then I started
Mm.
learning about him, how he started
Mm-hmm.
it with a diamond cutting, polishing. Various stories are there. So
Absolutely.
it is about his autobiography, and he has signed it, and I'm thankful for. So if you're lucky, you can also get a signed copy.
Oh
Rajit.
yes. When I come to meet you sometime, I'm going to carry the book and get a signature for sure. Right?
So what?
Lovely. 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 So
Definitely. So
I'm going to talk on a couple of things which caught my attention.
yeah.
Prasenjit, and I think I worked in an Indian organization. I worked in multinational organizations. Most of us keep talking about great leaders on a global organization size. This is a small shop, a small business, a small trader who started off and today has built an empire and standing tall as the beacon of this diamond industry. It's a classic experience that I had when I read through the pages. So before I start with the first question, I want to thank you for introducing me to this book by choosing this book. I'm humbled, right? So as I was reading this chapter called Enterprise, one very interesting incident that he narrates, where an incident of 28 percentage and 34 percentage of a finished diamond product he talks about. Now I'm going to leave it as a very suspense question. What is this 28 percentage, 34 percentage, and what learning have you got from this particular incident that he narrates in the book?
Yeah, so I think what is important there is that how you create a finished product. So there are
Yeah.
certain percentage that diamond organization kind of work, right? Based on which they take that profitability, right? And based on which they calculate their profit based on all that calculation. So typically, to make it easy, that a diamond comes, how the process starts, the
Mm.
knowledge that I have, that diamond comes in a rough manner, right? And then it becomes, it's been polished, it's been cut. There are various processes.
True.
So it's been cut, then it's been polished, then it's been, kind of washed properly. All of that happened, right? Then it's been graded also. So they're definitely grading, right? And there is the percentage of incision also they look at, the percentage
Mm.
of profitability that they look at, right?
Mm.
So it's a lot of hard work, right? I think you're talking about the revenue
Mm.
angle of that
Mm.
book, right? That how much they can earn out of that process.
Mm.
So I think that is the one that he is narrating, that how much of that percentage that they
So
can earn.
any lesson that you picked from that incident that he was talking about?
See, one lesson that definitely I can personally pick out, that nothing is small, you
Yeah.
know. So it would have been, people would have been thinking about, the more profit
Mm.
context,
Mm.
that I will get more from it.
Mm.
Then probably they would not start anything small, right?
Right. Mm.
And that's how it happens, right? You start
Mm.
with, it's small and you grow big and
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
And all those smalls that comes along with you, right?
Mm.
It makes
Mm.
bigger, right?
Mm.
Uh, and it calls out for a hard work also, right?
Mm. Mm.
Uh, I think the organization he has created, it's the value in making, because
Mm.
knowing the company very closely,
Mm.
they build on a trust
Mm.
factor,
Mm.
right? And that's why they named one of the product as SRK Pure, right? So
Correct.
that trust factor is extremely important for them to showcase to their client and the entire universe.
Right.
So
Right.
that's how the business, because when you do a business, if you cannot have a transparency,
Mm.
in the system, so everything
Mm.
is transparent. If you see the revenue numbers now, if you see the percentage now, which is written in the book published,
Mm.
right? How much of transparency? If you go to the platform, which is mostly their work is online, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, we are the company who kind of worked with them for
Mm.
making the end products online, the online sales channel and all of that.
Mm. Mm.
So typically how it happens is that it is so transparent that even you are sitting in somewhere else,
Mm.
maybe some other country, all the information that are absolutely, when you're seeing a diamond and when you're seeing in online, is absolutely 100% seamless.
Right.
So even you don't see it is physically, you
Mm.
will know that there is no hidden information. Even there are single precision,
Right.
precision, that the information is there. So I
Mm.
think
Mm.
that is the best part, and
Mm.
that comes from the learning that he created.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And that when people would also read the book, they would
Mm.
also get to know the kind of learning that
Absolutely.
we like to transform to people. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But very what I read through the pages, I could relate that he was a very hopeful person, right? And he hoped for growing the business. He hoped for his family. He also hoped for the community in the larger piece. Not being just restrictive or concise to a small circle, but ever looking at enlarging that circle so that I can impact the community, impact the people around me, kind of a person. But that takes me to a very interesting concept that he talks about in one of the chapters called Ascend. Uh, he talks
Yeah.
about something called awareness of hope as a
Hmm.
very powerful force, right? How do you see this awareness of hope as a powerful force that will help young leaders to operate freely? What is your take on this?
I'll read the verse which is written in the first page.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in this book
Mm-hmm.
wholeheartedly. Okay. And I think this book should be read by
All young leaders.
all leaders. So that is Srimad Bhagavad Gita I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says, O Achyuta, de- O Achyuta, delusion, which is my delusion, has been destroyed, and memory has been retained by me through
Yeah.
your grace.
Yeah.
I stand with my doubt removed. I shall follow your instruction.
Yeah.
I think faith is a very powerful um, aspect, powerful tool, powerful
Mm.
arm, powerful, weapon.
Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah.
Faith is extremely powerful. If you have faith
Mm.
in God and if you have faith in you,
Yeah.
no one can destroy you.
Correct.
Ups and downs is a part and parcel of life. But you do
Yes.
you have faith, and you can be in any faith. You can
Mm.
follow any faith, any religion, irrespective of it, right?
Mm.
Do you have faith, right? I follow. I am a very I am a person personally who believe in God, right? So I have my religion. I follow
Mm.
God. I try to find my strengths through God. I think that is very important for every person. So faith, which
Yeah.
will regain your strength, hope towards the community. Because if
Yeah.
you have hope,
Yeah.
uh, you know, you can see a positive side of it,
True.
everything. Because
True.
if you do not have hope, right, then in that case you don't see a light on the, behind the tunnel, right? It's the
Correct.
tunnel is dark, but what comes after the tunnel is very important, correct?
Right. Right.
You should have that hope. Now you
Mm.
think a boy who started at a 13 year, started at a diamond polishing, cutting, right?
Mm.
There was very nice, context. It's written here also that, and he kind of said this to me, and I
Mm.
remember this story
Mm.
that, so there was, and I want to share this story, okay? This was
Please.
that I love that way. So when he started, and that's how we connect the hope, okay? So
Mm.
when he started, people used to people call him in Govind. Okay,
Mm.
I think I've mentioned in LinkedIn a few years back.
Mm.
No one was respecting him, right?
Mm.
So no one was respecting him. No one was, kind of, because he was diamond polisher, and I
Yeah.
mean, again, that is like many years back, 65,
Mm.
right? And that time, a diamond polisher, even a blue collar job, you can understand, right?
True.
Even
True.
today, you know, you know how India or any country is divided in class apart, right?
Correct.
Uh, and we look at people from a class angle, not that what
Mm.
person bear the knowledge.
Mm.
Anyways, he was not getting respect and all of that, and he was very upset. So one
Mm.
day he was going to satsang and all of that, right? Because again,
Mm.
he has hope, and he believe in God. So he met Dongreji Maharaj, and
Mm.
Dongreji Maharaj used to come to Surat even today also, because
Mm.
come very often, well connected with the family. So
Mm.
Dongreji Maharaj, he asked him, this
Mm.
is comes, I mean, this I heard from him only. So he asked him that, okay, how do I get a respect? I am not
Mm.
getting a respect. How do I get it? So he said that, for giving respect, for earning respect, you have to give respect.
Give respect. Mm.
For getting love, you need to share loves.
Mm.
For being peaceful, for being peace, you need to share peace. You need to
Mm.
create an environment of peace.
Mm.
If you do not do things, you can't expect that thing will come to you.
Come to you. Mm.
So from that day, he started calling everyone bhai.
Mm.
The culture of bhai, that culture, right? The brotherhood
Mm.
that started then.
How
So
beautiful.
everyone bhai. 1 month gone, no result. 2 month gone, no result. 3 month gone, no result. Fourth month, fifth month. There were time. Then, one day he realized his manager was asking him, come sit here, have a tea
Mm.
with me, all of that.
Mm.
So it automatically, he didn't get demotivated, he didn't lose his hope. So
Mm.
this is a story of hope, which also motivates us a lot, right? A
Correct.
story of hope that allowed a person to continue
Mm.
seeing on things, struggling on things, continue focusing without losing the focus. He is giving respect, not earning things. So you think what's a magical here? I'm
Mm.
continuing pushing. Now these are learnings, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
for even corporate leaders, we kind of get miserable. We are so materialistic today.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very, very true.
That you
Very,
don't
very
do
true.
something, you're like all panicked and okay, leave alone and all that gali galoch, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So
Despite all the comfort, everything given to us.
struggle helps you to bring out a best of the person. That's what I believe.
Very
And if
true.
a person is knowledgeable, that
Hmm.
person will not boast.
Hmm.
The knowledge, the boasting comes from novice and not for the knowledgeable person. The knowledgeable person will hold the knowledge, right?
Beautiful.
And learn from the world. So, and also the hope will transform that person for a better world, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
I think that is also very important, the kind of grooming and ambience and the, you know, parenting,
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
teaches you, right? So if you born and brought up or you've been surrounded by people of hope,
Hmm.
become hope. If you have good faith around you, you
Very
will
true.
you will be faithful. If you are in a surrounded with a negative environment, the negative it will crush you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you are positive, you can't be only positive. You have to create that surrounding of positive. So how you can
Correct.
do
Correct.
that? So you give respect. People will anyways not they don't bother your existence. But 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, and then after certain point in time, you will
They
feel
can't ignore you.
they can't ignore you. They can
Very
hate
true.
you, but they can't ignore you, right?
Yeah, they can't. Very
You
true.
will have
Very
to
true.
give the respect. So typically, till today, nothing. He didn't get rest. So he said that when we met him, even this is one of his, he shared that a lot in
Hmm.
lot of forum, right? That he didn't get disrespect,
Hmm.
never after that day, because
Hmm.
he has not disrespected anyone
True.
in his life,
Yeah.
never
I think this book,
humiliated anyone.
absolutely. I think the book, all the pages that I read, very rightly said, Prasenjit, it only talks about how much of a giver this man has been in his entire life and is continuously doing this. And all that has come back to him from nature in multifold, like a boomerang. And today, look where he's standing. He's standing as the leader of this business, somebody who's most respected in the community of the business as a human being, with all his business acumen, with all his spiritual inclination that he has. It's just because he has been a giver and a giver through his life. In fact, as I read the pages of the book, uh, and I understood how the organization moved to the higher orbits and reached different levels of success. He talks about a very interesting learning that he had from our ex-president, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who gave him a very powerful equation. I want you to tell this equation to the audience and also help leaders to interpret this equation.
So I think one of the angle that what so this organization anyways they do a lot of corporate social responsibility angle,
Mm, mm,
and Govind Kaga has come across many leaders including the APJ Abdul Shri APJ Abdul Kalam, right?
mm,
So the kind of humility, right, innovation that he has shared, it always transformed. So he is a man of giving, he learning from, because one of the words that he says, which comes to I am nothing but I can do anything. So which is learning. Learning always inspires people to learn more, and the
mm,
fact is that you have to let go of your ego. So what the equation is that APJ Abdul Kalam being one of the most humble person,
mm,
goalless person. So you can ask him
mm.
any questions and he will answer to that, right? So
Yeah.
never thought that, okay, something would be, I am a superior community
Mm,
from a superior angle of it. I think that equation helped, right?
mm, mm,
To building a strong relationship. And then subsequently, there are various
mm,
platform, various, research, various. So the Santokba Award actually, which is also mentioned here. So
mm.
typically, it's in the name of Dr. Govind Dolake, of course. P.
Yeah.
Govind
Yeah.
Dolake, he's
Mm,
also a doctorate recognized few years back. So it's in the name of his mother, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was also felicitated.
mm,
Similarly, many people. from Ms. Sudha Murthy to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to Mr. Ratan Tata and many other senior leaders and fellows have been felicitated, right? One of the best part is that what is the change of the society? What is that we contributed to the society is something which is one of the criteria. Okay.
Right.
So and that's how this is a philanthropic. So in philanthropy, I think amazing work done fantastically, and there are multiple of initiative that the organization has taken, which is funny. If you read the books, right? I would encourage people to read the book.
Absolutely.
Learn that why the philanthropy have the rights. So, or it would have been only me myself. So, and about my things, and this comes from okay. If you think about me myself and about me, then you would not be able to contribute to a larger part of the society. You would lose. You need to think beyond that. I think that is most important part of it. I think that equation actually help because both of them are extremely humble. Both of them are extremely ground to earth. And the knowledge that one gather with a grounded person is something which actually created that finite, that fine equations between both the person. Yeah.
Beautiful. Very well articulated, Prasanjit. That takes me to a question. At the fag end of the book,
Bombarding me with questions.
at the fag end of the,
I want this book to be. I want actually this book to be a bit of secret and let people. We want to make it surprise and let people also read it.
Oh yes. That's why we are only talking about three or four things that inspired us because the book is an ocean of knowledge.
Correct. Yes,
right?
yes.
The end of the book, as he takes us through the journey of his life, and all of us are very mesmerized with that journey, and a lot of learnings happening. It happened to me also. He talks about 5 go win sutras, as he calls it. And I'm not going to talk about all of them. We leave it for the people to pick up the book and read it. Cut, polish, mount is something that caught my attention. He says, cut, polish, mount in your life. And how do you see this 3 words? And what's your advice to leaders?
Very well.
It's a very diamond and a very jewel word, but how do you see from a leadership angle?
I think if I have to talk about from a person specific, I mean, in my understanding of it, I'm trying to be as simple as it because there are so many definition of this cut, polish, and mount, right? See, in life, we get hardships, right? So life is rough. Let's say, right? It's not a smooth sailing road. What we share in LinkedIn is not right. It's not. We share in LinkedIn, just jokes apart, but we share life is gloomy, life is dreamy. It's not like that. Life is gloomy also, right? So on a serious note, so which is we life is rough with full of challenges. So if I were to think about the rough diamond, right, which comes and it comes as a rough diamond. It's if you have an opportunity to look at a rough diamond, I'm giving a guarantee you won't find it. Of course, because we are novice in diamond, you won't find difference between a normal rock and a rough diamond. You would feel.
I have seen it. I've seen the entire process, so I know what you're talking.
So rough means it's how your life is all about. Then you sharpen it, you cut it. Cut the negativity, right?
Okay.
Cut the negativity, right? Sometimes you get wounded. This is my definition of when I read it.
Please go ahead. Your interpretation.
Iteration of this, but their a presentation or when they read it, their understanding may be different. But personally, when I read this book, right, I feel that my life, is always very rough. Okay, I mean I've lost my dad in 20s. I've struggled with sales guys. I've started door-to-door sales job, what not, right?
Mm.
Started with 4-5,000 rupees of money,
Mm.
on the salary. What not
Mm.
I've done. So it was always rough. But I would have carried that negativity.
Correct.
Right? Whatever little success I could get it,
Mm.
though I don't know, I'm still
Mm.
learning. I'm a student of life. Okay.
Mm.
And I'm still learning from all the world,
Mm.
from my daughter to my wife to my mom, everyone, to you, to
Mm.
everyone, from my juniors and from my seniors, everyone. Having said that, life is rough.
Mm.
Negativity has to be cut.
Mm.
Then when it's cut, you need to polish your life towards the
Mm.
positive.
Beautiful. Mm.
You get rough, dry life. Always you will get it. You are
Yeah.
not going to get a bed of rose. It's all
Correct.
in the Hollywood and the Bollywood movie.
Yeah.
Life is hard. Very, very hard. You can't imagine the kind of struggle people does,
True.
right? And one need to realize and respect the kind of struggle people does. I've
Mm.
seen people dying. I've seen people, lost their near ones, right?
Yeah.
We've seen
Yeah.
COVID, but haven't we, rise above
Yeah.
the COVID situation? Haven't
We
we
have.
come out? What happened is that we were hit.
Mm.
Life was rough. We cut the negativity. We shape
Mm.
ours. We now polishing it. And one of the best part is we are one of the third largest economy in the world, right? We were the
Mm.
nation who helped other nation, including
Absolutely.
US, right?
Yeah.
In supplying the medicines. Now you think we were when and we were now. So
Mm.
life was rough. We will be repenting that kya ho gaya,
Correct.
not have come in. So this is how I look at life.
Mm.
Life is always rough, but you need to be very positive. You cut your negativity, but
Polish the positive.
polish it. Yes, sharpen it,
Yeah.
polish it, right? Make a fine balance. So if you cut it, it's like if you cut it, it's always the blood will fall,
True.
right? You will bleed. But if you polish it,
Mm.
if you put some medicine, if you polish it, right, you will become a fine person, a new person
Mm.
all along. It's
What is the
unique.
word mount then? It
It's
ends with
a
the
new
word mount.
life. Yeah, it always happens. I
Mm.
always believe, and of course, with such a person, it always regenerates, it always gives us the inspiration. The leading the life, learning the life, negativity will come. It's a part of life. You can't stop negativity,
Yeah. So the
but
word mount means what? How do you see the word mount then?
take it up.
Yeah.
You flourish it. Showcase that, okay, you are
Yeah.
a changed man. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are a
Yeah.
changed man. You showcase.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was what I was there in 10 years before. I am not that person now.
True.
No,
True. True. True.
you change for better.
Yeah.
You ensure that you became you remain a good person. That is
Yeah.
very, very important. If you remain a
Correct.
good person by heart, people will understand you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, you are better at your level, and if you really polish yourself, as a person,
Yeah.
right? No negativity can spread you. You may
Mm.
get you're at one end, but other end you will get success. So,
Mm. Mm.
and you will also not, the hardships will not, put you down
True.
beneath the
True.
ground. You
True.
will you will rise up and you
Beautiful.
count yourselves, right? That okay, look, I am a changed person. I am a changed.
Yeah.
This is how it happens, right? You cut it, you get a rough diamond, you cut it, you polish it, and you
And then you
mount
mount.
the showcase, right? Now
Yeah.
see the entire look at rough diamond, which
Yeah.
is ugly looking rock, has become the fantastic diamond on a necklace of lady. It's crores of
Absolutely.
values, crores of millions and billions of values that is
Yeah.
bringing
Yeah.
and glowing the entire building, entire room, right? So
Very
what
true.
was ugly looking now in the best beauty of the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how you change your life is also your way of thinking and your way of looking at things.
In fact, the entire book and all the pages of the book is all about how did Mr. Govindji cut, polished, mounted. cut, polished, mounted, cut, polished, and
This is
mounted.
one of the, I would say this is one of the best, it's one of the best motivational book of the decade, right? At least I would like to share that.
I would agree with that.
Everyone should read it once, okay?
Yes, yes, yeah,
And anyone, be it any industry, would be able to relate to it. This is
absolutely,
someone who lived a life, right? Struggled and lived a life and living at a king size, right? And
absolutely.
helping people, not just me, my life. So there are so many learnings in the book.
Lot.
It will help you making a better person for sure, if not anything
Definitely,
else.
definitely. In fact, through this
And
channel, I want to definitely
um,
promote this book. Joining Prasenjit here, you should pick up this book, my friends. I again thank Prasenjit for introducing me to this book and introducing me to this great man. I'm looking forward to meet him sometime if God wishes. But all of you young leaders, pick up this book from Amazon, pick it up from Crossword. All the bookstores have this in the top shelf. It's reigning supreme today in the world of books. Read it. You would need a couple of sittings to read it because it's a lovely story of this man, but very insightful. You'll have pages where you may want to read those paragraphs again and again because very, very deep learning through his life that all of us can get. Prasenjit, thank you so much for taking time. Thank you so much for so passionately talking about the book. When you said you look up to him as a father figure, I could sense it in the way you were narrating it because it comes from your heart. You have lived it. You seem to be living it. So thank you so much for doing this. I had a beautiful conversation with you. I hope
it's
you
my
enjoyed it.
privilege. It's my privilege, one of my best of my journey, I would say, to know him, his family members, right? And who are fortunately our stakeholders also. And my colleagues, the people who work with him, right? Such a helpful, such a kind of mentorship. It's my privilege and it's a great journey, right? To be a part of a lifestyle, to learn, right? And to, I would say, regenerate hope, right?
Absolutely.
Because I've lost, I can recollect because,
True. True.
I've lost so many things in life, right?
Mm, mm,
So many
mm.
people in life. So when I look up to him, I find that inspiration
Yeah.
that if a person can struggle so long, so
Mm.
how come we would fall behind? So we will have to have that energy. So that positive energy from Govind Kaka
Yeah.
always helped all of us to put that kind of full strength, with full, and with, of course, positive energy for aspiration. Passion is something which is, it drives the organizations, right?
Yeah.
Passion and love and respect. I think when I look at him, when I look at, his near ones, when I look at our family members, even all our employees, people who are associated with us, when I look at them, I see passion, love, and respect. So these three things actually really helped us to
Beautiful.
learn from him, to give us and feel as a family. Now, people, in general, have negativity about family, but I would like to share a few things. 2001 happened, 2008 happened. Not a
Mm,
single employee left.
mm,
Not a single employee laid off.
mm.
Now that's the family. You don't
Beautiful.
leave your
Beautiful.
family behind. Now this is a live example of a company who he runs and he become the chairman. They have not left anyone behind. And there are so many articles, I think, in your interaction with Dr. Mandir,
Yes.
he has shared with you, right? So uh, this is how the legacy, like that, okay,
Mm.
everyone is important. So they are like family members. So this is a true meaning, which we also have a lot of respect for him.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
that is something which we also cherish, the
Mm,
relationship,
mm,
the caring nature,
mm.
and really very, 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 fruitful and extremely, lovable. And, of course, it's great journey. I mean, it's one of my best
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't agree any less or more on this. In fact, I'm going to talk to you
Please
separately
come to
after this
Surat.
call, ask you
Please,
when is
please
the
visit
man
us
in
at Surat.
office, when is he in town, and I'm going to take a
Yeah,
flight and come over to just meet him. I'll do that sometime soon.
yeah, please, please. Of course, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
absolutely. Lovely having this conversation personally with you. Thank you so much for taking time once again.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. Thank you so much for
Pleasure.
connecting and allowing uh, a very small common individual like me to kind of share about this great
The
man.
great man.
Yeah, the great man, and please request everyone to read about
We'll do that.
the book. This is the book. Diamonds are forever, so are morals, right? And this is available online, Amazon, everywhere. And if anyone needs it, they can always reach out to me through you, or you can also, I will always, connect with the group
Sure,
company,
sure,
uh,
sure.
Sri Krishna Exports, and of course, help people to get this book.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank
See
you
you
so much.
soon.
Pleasure talking to you. See you soon.
Absolutely. See you soon. Bye bye.
Yeah, man. Good night.
Good night.